These are my worksheets.
Blair, what is happening back here? Are you afraid of aliens coming?
I'm either trying to attract them or prevent them. No, I'm just tired of Scout's hair and her being in my shoe bin, making all my shoes out of shape.
So what does this do?
So this is my, because we got rid of the lids, so you can access them from here. So having the lids on was kind of annoying to get in your shoe bin from under the bed without having to raise the bed. So maybe this will prevent her from getting in.
Okay.
We'll see.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Brad here. I want to talk to you about some maintenance things on that rig over there behind me. Blair and I have had it for 8 months now. We've put nearly 10,000 miles on it, all throughout New England and the East Coast, and then traveling out west. And I've covered some of these things on previous videos, but I will rehash every maintenance issue that we have had with the rig since we bought it. Speaker cover. So there's a speaker over the bed, and this cover on it has fallen off a couple times. There's one in the center hallway. It's also fallen off a couple times. Just put them right back in the hole. Not that big a deal. We had a roof leak, which I covered on a previous video, from a third solar panel that we had installed from the dealer. They fixed it really fast. The bathroom door latch, it's very close. So we took the plate off, shaved some of the wood down, put the plate back on, and it closed much easier for a while. But since we've driven more miles and things have kind of shifted and settled, it's a little bit tight again, so I'm going to redo that same process. There's also a wall that's on the bedroom side of our shower. That wall looks like it's separated out a little bit, and the molding that goes around that piece of wood has slid down. So I took the whole wall off, reattached the molding all the way around, and put the wall back together. It's a handful of screws. It's pretty easy to do. We replaced one tire, and not because the alignment's off, but what I believe is because I run the air pressure too low, because it was really worn on the outside on one side and not in the middle. I had a tire valve stem right on this side. I lost air pressure in that one tire. We noticed it after we got up early one morning. I'm missing a tire at the moment. We're at Walmart. This morning I woke up and I noticed my tire pressure on my right rear tire was low because I have the tire pressure monitoring system. It's around 55 psi, so I stopped to put air in it because I just made sure they were all correct about 2 days ago. And as I went to put the air hose onto the valve, I moved it and I heard air. So I noticed my valve stem was loose. So we're getting a new valve stem because it was leaking air through the valve stem. But that's why I like dual rear wheels, because you don't have to jack it up. You can just put one on a ramp and you can change your own tire just like this. So thank you to that Walmart and wherever we were in Oklahoma. The top windows across the top by the table, one of the strings broke in that. Blair redid the string. It's a pretty easy kit that came with a blind kit. The dump light, so the dump station has a little LED light out there. There are two LED light diodes in it. One of those had burned out. So next thing I'm gonna work on is my light here. It works, but only one side of the bulb. So I got a second one here. I'm gonna take it off and see what's up. Now they both work. Could find some tape. pretty rare that I use the light, but it's nice to have it working. The bathroom cabinet latch, so the left door and the bathroom cabinet under the sink, the latch, the little spring popped out of it, so I got a new one of those. Hello and welcome to our bathroom. A couple of days ago I noticed that this latch here for the bathroom sink, the sink cabinet was not working. So I have obtained a new one. The spring fell out of that. I actually did put it back together, but I'm going to go ahead and put a new latch on. If you own an RV, things are going to break. I don't care how much you spend on them. I don't care how much you paid for them. I don't care. The only way for it not to break is to not go anywhere in it and not be in it. You have repairs in these just like you have repairs in your house. And because the RV industry is so busy at the moment, it is very difficult to get in and get service. So do things yourself. I went to the local Airstream dealer, told them what was broken, and they just gave me the little parts. I said, I'm happy to fix it myself if you can just hook me up with the parts. So they did. Pretty easy to change out these things. Just like that, we have a new one, and it works. Done. The slider, the glider slide thing that the kitchen drawer is on, a handful of those screws came loose. So right now I'm adding some screws to the silverware drawer, or what we have made our silverware drawer, because I noticed it was rubbing when the top drawer came in. It was rubbing right here. I had the same problem a few weeks ago on the road, and I noticed that this original screw and this original screw were both loose along with the third one back there. So that allowed this thing to drop a little bit. So I've just reinforced the screws and put a little bit longer one in the original hole and put the original screw into a secondary hole. So now this will be much more reinforced. Let's see how it works. Doesn't rub anymore. Closes quite well. Something I don't know how to fix is the current refrigerator we have and freezer. There's a little plastic piece across the top. Sometimes when we drive down the road and it bumps and shifts, that plastic piece pops off. I don't really know what to do with that, but the same thing happened to me in a previous RV. So it's a design flaw in the refrigerator process. Nothing to do with Airstream. The bathroom vent over the toilet, the little foam piece that goes around it to seal it from sound and wind came unglued, so I put some two-sided tape around that and fixed it pretty fast. The AC, so the rear air conditioner up there, I climbed up there just days ago to fix it. The two mounting bolts on either side of the fan motor had backed out. I don't know if any work had been done on this thing prior to me picking it up. We did buy it brand new, but you never know what was done from the factory or once it was delivered and things like that. So I don't know of anything that was done to it, but it seems like both those screws were hand tight, put in there, but never tightened down, so they may have backed out. Blair and I turned on our heat pumps. We just arrived in Utah and it's pretty chilly here, but the front heat pump or air conditioner was making a horrible sound. Like it was, I guess, like a bicycle cart and spokes of a bicycle. Couldn't figure it out, but I got up here and I found that the two mounting screws were just laying in the bottom. Now, I don't know if they came out or just were never installed and just happened to be tight enough to work, but we have been over some bumpy roads in the last 7,000 miles, so I'm about to tighten these screws down. So now the fan's back on. All things seem to be operating as advertised. The main cabin door there, when it would rain very hard sitting still and the wind would blow towards the RV, a little bit of rain would trickle in the top of the door. Driving down the highway when it's raining, water would seep in through the door. Now, we're not talking puddles here, we're talking drips, like a small cc syringe of water squirted out. Basically what you are left in a cup of your water, a cup of water after you dump it out in the sink, but don't dump it all out. Just a little bit of water would come in the door and leak down. After 10,000 miles, nearly 10,000 miles of driving this rig through some pretty bumpy roads, my door hinges. The 2 screws here and the 2 down here came loose a little bit, and the door didn't shut right. So just retighten those screws, and now I'm going to put on the little shiny part that covers these again. I took some command strip 2-sided tape for outdoor side because I'm currently out of the 3M double-sided tape. So I think these work pretty well. One thing I do like about these covers is if the bolt does come loose somewhat, you are still protected from the screw not falling out because these covers are on there. And now I have 2 shiny covers again. What are you doing here?
Replacing some rivets.
What happened?
I think one just came loose. And then we drilled all the others out.
All right, good job. There's some little screw covers on every window, some little round covers. A couple of those have popped off. The rear awning has these 2 sticks, I call them, that's got a rubber grommet on the end that you hold the rear awning open with. Those little grommets have ripped apart. And the rear window screen, so to keep the bugs out, there's a little bit of missing part in the corner. Everything on it, except for the leak on the roof and the stove recall, which was just some heat tape, or it's like duct tape, meaning the silver heat reflective duct tape. They had to fill the drawer for that. Except for those 2 things, I fixed everything on here. Any little minor things that I'm comfortable with fixing myself, I've gone to a dealer, 3 different dealerships, not had any problems with any of them. I talked to the service manager or the parts manager, and I said, listen, this thing is wrong. I'm happy to fix it if you can give me the part. And they just handed me the part and said, have a nice day. It's been super easy. I don't mind doing those things because the maintenance schedules and the shops that in every dealership, I don't care, it's exceptionally backlogged just to get work done. So a small little toolkit, 120-piece Craftsman toolkit, along with a torque wrench that goes from 25 to 250 foot-pounds, and our rivet gun. You can find all these things on our website under the things we love, and go down to our Amazon affiliate section, and it shows you everything that I have. It's been pretty easy. Pretty easy to work with. And you can see my rear right there. My rear stabilizing jack has one of these cool SnapPads on it. If you're not familiar with SnapPad, excellent piece of gear, excellent company, excellent customer service. I'm a huge fan. And if you are a first responder of any sort, military, fire, police, EMS, etc., they do give you a discount for SnapPad. So pretty wonderful company. I'm not endorsed by them. I'm just a huge fan. So thank you all for joining me today. If you have any questions about the maintenance on your rig, I probably have experienced it in the 6.5 years I've been doing this, and the 4 different rigs I've had by 4 different manufacturers. I've replaced all sorts of things, from tanks, holding tanks, to water heaters, to water pumps, to fixing lines, to replacing air conditioners, to roof leaks. I've done pretty much anything you can imagine to my own rigs. just to save the hassle of taking it and dropping it off at a dealership and picking it back up for some minor thing. So I may have an answer for you if you are interested. I'm not a certified anything technician. I just use my knowledge from many years of working on vehicles and many years of working on helicopters. So I do have some knowledge, but that's all for today, folks. Thanks for joining in. See you on the road.
It smells like poop.
Wonder why? So sometimes one of the things that's difficult with an Airstream is that the drain is so low depending on the angle. So because of this angle right here, it's almost level and maybe even slightly uphill. So when you drain the tanks like this, you have to let the hose drain into the lowest part. And then you have to kind of do a little snake and let it all dump out the other end. And let it fill up again and keep doing that because it's not, if you drop a fifth wheel and the tank dump is pretty high, it's not a big deal. But in these Airstreams, because the center of gravity is so low, which is great for towing, not always great for dumping.